Welcome to another Ward 3 Community Corner. Today we have a very special presentation, and I'm excited to present Tomken Road Middle School's Team Addi2de. They just returned from a Lego robotics tournament in Carlsbad, California, and they are going to give you a presentation of their journey of what it took to get there. The same presentation that they did at City Council for us on Council last week.
This is our journey.
What is FLL? FLL introduces young people ages 9 to 14 to have a fun experience with science and technology. In FLL, kids do the work such as programming autonomous robot and creating an innovative solution to the yearly challenge. This year's challenge is world class, to help people learn. These three elements, robot game, project, and core values, create a yearly challenge with over 25,000 teams in 80 countries.
Our team was put together back in the beginning of October, and that's when we met each other for the first time, and we all seemed like complete strangers to one another. However, throughout the different phases like regionals, provincials, and internationals, we accomplished so much, and that we have certainly grown closer as friends. Now here we are, we're great buddies, right?
The problem we chose to solve was ADD and ADHD. We chose this problem because people that are diagnosed with ADD and ADHD have trouble focusing.
So to address this issue and essentially create a solution, we've invented a headband and app called Focus on Focus that measures your focus levels through electroencephalography technology. In our app, we also incorporated focus exercise games and other things such as learning style quizzes just to improve your overall focus levels over time.
Of course, to get points in the Astro competition, we need a robot. At the beginning of October, a robot looked a lot like this. It has very high center of gravity and was not able to complete a lot of the missions. So we made changes and we innovated. We added an internal motor that was able to move most of the missions on the table. But when we got second place in that competition, we knew that we'd have to do really well in the finals to get any sort of placement. So we redid our entire robot using one motor to run many movements, and this, in part, was able to score us many points on the table.
The programs you are using are combinations of linear and sensor programs. We divided all the missions into 4 programs.
Core values is also a really important part of FLL, and for core values, every Wednesday we gather together and we participate in core value activities such as Dr. Tangle, Octopus, Human Pyramid, and etc., while displaying a great amount of teamwork, gracious professionalism, and competition.
Well, our first competition was regionals, where we attended Fletcher's Meadow Secondary School. Here, we scored the highest table points and received the first place champions award out of 28 teams, which made us go to provincials, the next level.
After a thrilling competition at Waterloo, we ended up placing second out of all the teams that competed. After that, we were invited to compete at the Invitational International Open in Legoland, California.
At internationals, we received the Gracious Professionalism Award, which is the most important award in the core values category.
We have many future visions for our FLL team to further extend our journey. So for project, if we could find companies to help us manufacture our ideas into a real product, it would be very beneficial for future FLL tournaments, and in our case, ADHD patients.
For robot, more EV3 Lego Mindstorm supplies could help us to improve our robot efficiency to score higher points on the robot game.
Funding is also a bonus. This year we were also invited to the Australian Open Championship. However, we were forced to go to California mainly due to lack of funding. However, there's still next year, and next year's topic is on trash truck, something to do with trash, I'm assuming. But anyways, additional funding would be great.
So throughout this process, we have learned a lot about ADHD, programming, mechanical design, problem solving, and leadership skills. We have become more confident and dedicated learners with persistent effort.
Well, congratulations again to all of you. When I was first contacted by your school and by your teacher, Melissa Perez, and a number of you and parents that have helped your team through this journey. I was just so thrilled and proud that you came to present at City Council. And just following up on your presentation, I do have a couple of questions for you. So you talked a little bit about how the team was put together, but were there any specific qualifications for you coming together as teammates to form Team Addi2de?
Well, to qualify for FLL in grade 6, our teacher, Miss Prez, placed us into groups of 4 to create a robot, work together, and complete missions on the table. She watched us as we worked together and how our robot did on the mission table. So she then picked 18 grade 6 students to compete in FLL.
In the grade 7 and 8, qualifications were a little bit different. Basically, at lunchtime, you would come in and you present something. This thing could be a robot that you made, a project idea, or programs I created. Then the teacher would judge it and then put you on a team. A lot of people got accepted as there were 6 teams, so a lot of people were able to be a part of FLL.
That's wonderful. So right from the start, even at the very beginning process, you had to work together as a team, you were put together, and you had, because that was also important through regionals, provincials, and nationals. And it also speaks to the core values of your team and what you stand for. So can you explain, I know you talked about it a little bit in the presentation, but can you explain a little bit more about the core values and how important they are to, how important they were along the journey, but also to you as a team moving forward?
Well, core values is a really important aspect of FLL, and there are many little parts of it, like responsibility, teamwork, and many more. And one of it's cooperation.
Yeah, so cooperation is basically a combination of team cooperation and competition. So we had, at the tournament, we had friendly competition, and we cooperated with other teams to have fun.
And our other one was gracious professionalism, which we won an award in California for.
Yeah.
And
Here's
it's
the
for
award. Can I put it up here?
Go ahead.
Put that in there. So that's wonderful. I think the core values that you talked about just now and in the presentation and what you stand for, it also ties into the pillars in the city of Mississauga. Those pillars are belong, prosper, connect, move, and green. I think you've shown such great leadership as youth in what you're doing through this project, but also not only working together through this process, but moving forwards into the future. And I really like that value, cooperation. I need to bring that to our team at City Hall, our council team and the mayor at City Hall. That's wonderful. And of course also gracious professionalism, very important. I do have another question for you about the headband design. How did you come up with that?
Well, we were first inspired by Jasmine's friend who had ADHD, which was our problem to solve. And our initial idea was to have a wristband which had a button on it so that the person could press if they got distracted. But as we further researched into the topic, we found out that people with ADHD don't know when they get distracted, so that wouldn't be effective.
And just a little bit of background research about the science behind why or how we were inspired by this. So basically, our headband uses electroencephalography, and that just works by using the electric charge that is produced by the neurons in your brain. And this can be in any simple task, even like waking up. And a lot of electric charge is produced by this. And in electroencephalography, it's measured in your entire brain. However, for our purposes, we were only focusing on the prefrontal cortex of the brain because that's the area that's responsible for focus. And since it's in the front of the brain, it only requires a few electrodes that can be placed on your forehead, perhaps. That's why we decided to make a headband.
A headband.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you're in grades 6, 7, and 8?
Yes.
Grades 6, 7, and 8. Unbelievable. I think it's wonderful. It speaks to, again, I think to gracious professionalism and the fact that you listen and you know what the needs are of young people like yourselves in the same age group like yourselves in order to learn better but also contribute better into the community. I think it's just wonderful. Now you've traveled throughout your journey. You had to do a lot of traveling. As you mentioned, the last competition was in California. How did you raise funds for the competition?
Well, for the fundraising, well, first of all, to get our team together, our school, FLL is an annual tradition at our school, so we have the basic necessities like the robot spare parts, the project boards, and all the general material needed to form an FLL team. However, our fundraising for provincials and internationals, well, you know, plane tickets, our registration fees and all that, we had our generous sponsors. Well, I'll ask you to turn around. We had Peel District School Board, of course. It's our school board. Qualcomm FLL, and then we have right here People Planet Power and Professional Ontario and Engineers, which is also really a contributive sponsor for us. Thank you, Milan. And so, yeah, that's basically how we get our fundraising from.
That's wonderful. So you mentioned opportunities going forward, like perhaps Australia or other competitions. So there are other competitions in the future that you need fundraising for, correct?
Yeah, exactly. And those fundraising would probably, again, once these sponsors would probably help with that. And you know, for future, we will need some fundraising for, you know, T-shirts, more robots.
Some of the resources
yeah, exactly.
to create the robots.
Some project technology and many
So,
other.
okay, and the easiest way for people to contribute, would you be willing and open to do presentations at businesses in Mississauga?
Of course.
Yes. Okay, and how else can people contribute? I know that the website was up on the screen, but is there anybody that can repeat that website where they could contribute or they can find more information?
www.addi2defll.wix.com/attitude, and attitude is spelled ADDI2DE.
Okay, so wonderful, wonderful. Congratulations again. I'm so glad that you got in touch with me as the city councilor in this area, and I have no doubt that all of you, well, right now, you're already great leaders in the community, and you will continue to be. And I wish you all the best of luck in the future, and I hope you keep in touch with me as to your next steps as a team. Congratulations.
Thank you.